What's up, guys? Let's look at the price of Bitcoin and what is happening. And today we'll also not look only at the current stage, current condition, short term, but I would like to share with you some analysis of another interesting analysts out there who is predicting the price of Bitcoin going very, very low, but with a very logical basis. So, first of all, about the short term. Well, we are kind of having the relief rally right now. Well, I wouldn't call it like a really rally, but still we are attempting to go higher than $7,200, trying to attack this Bollinger Bands baseline on a 4 hours time frame. Usually when we break it, the trend changes from the downtrend to the uptrend, if you will break it from the bottom to the top. But I'm not quite sure that this is happening right now. I mean, of course, if you look at the major picture, like this 4 hours, let's say, time frame, you will see this long lasting trend line, which was resistance, and we had this resistance tested several times here and here and here and here, and then we broke it over here, and then this resistance became support. So we actually found this support at this line, tested it several times, and now we have this rise after the last test. So technically this is a bullish sign, right? So maybe just maybe there is a hope that this trend got reversed. So first we broke this trend line, second we are having this rounding reversal. But again, I'm not highly convinced in that. First of all, we also have this descending triangle. I would say that it's very likely, considering the downtrend as the major trend right now, that this descending triangle will be broken downwards with even higher probability. The target is $6,100, but if you will actually count it from this peak, then maybe it will be something like $6,400, something like that. Still bearish, still very likely to go downside, to the downside. Also, stochastic oscillator, stochastic RSI is very high on 4 hours time frame. It just printed this bearish crossover. Usually when we have this, the price goes down, like for example here it went down, here it went down, here it went down, and so on and so forth. Finally, the funding and premium index is kind of approaching to the neutral state right now. Here it was highly negative, but here, well, basically almost neutral, right? Even we went to the upside at some point. Moreover, if we look at the number of longs, it is still very, very high. Longs on Bitfinex, of course. Well, some people may argue with that it's not really relevant, like this is a number of longs and not the size, and there are some other reasons to not think about this number as something substantial, something reasonable and important, but still it might work as a self-fulfilling prophecy, as when many people are looking at this and they say that, well, it's one of the things that actually bearish when we have too many longs, as usual. So this is kind of my perspective. And moreover, another thing is that if we look at the Fibonacci retracement, then now we are still around 61.8%, and we kind of flirting with this level, so it's very likely that we'll go lower. The next level is 78.6 still, again, because the trend is bearish. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but it's just maybe my bias, because I still see this downtrend channel. So until we will go like really above it and show the strength, maybe at least above $8,000, maybe even better, like $9,500, $10,000, then until then I can't be 100% bullish. Well, anyway, this is like the situation short term, right? And today I would like to share with you the analysis from one guy who is basically doing a lot of stuff with Bitcoin and indicators using for crypto. It's Momentum. If you remember one of the previous episodes, we were looking at his indicator, which he transformed, well, upgraded Fisher transform, and he made it in the way that you can see some crossovers being indicative for the moves of the price. Let's say on a weekly time frame, it's very visible. For example, you see here This was the bullish crossover, and the price went from $3,000 to $3,200 to $14,000. And here it was a bearish crossover, just almost to the top here, and we went down. Here was another bullish crossover. This was another low, and so on and so forth. In fact, he does even calculate the probabilities of the price going higher after this crossover at a certain point. So you see, this guy is quite knowledgeable, and here he actually suggested this chart, this pattern. This is a harmonic pattern. If you don't know about those patterns, those are pretty much based on the Fibonacci levels, which are producing the ratios, and based on those ratios you can draw these patterns like Gartley, they called bullish and bearish. There are others like butterfly, bats, crabs, and others. But basically, you need to have certain proportions here, and eventually you can fit them into the chart. And basically, he suggests that one of the possibilities that this is one of the harmonic patterns here. Also, the target for this pattern is at $1,200, and technically this is the same level of the previous high here, which we didn't test so far after this drop. And he says it fits this target really well. So technically it's again very nice, but it will go down to this target up to July 21st, basically meaning that we are having this extremely long downtrend. And he plotted this in October. So far you see he actually made it right, so we're still going along the same direction. He made some he showed some examples of these patterns worked before. This is the gold pattern, so it works. You see, it technically works. It doesn't mean that this will happen like 100%, but we still should be very careful and consider all the possibilities, because well, yeah, that this is still possible. If you remember previous episode when we were looking at the price of Ethereum and Bitcoin, forecasting it to be growing in 2020, in middle of the next year, much higher. So this is one chance, and this is another chance. It's really likely, and actually this pattern is believed to be very reliable if it's plotted properly. Well, in any case, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but be careful with your investments. Just want to cover all the options which we have here, and I hope that it is useful for you guys. So see you in the next video. Safe trading. Goodbye.